This is from class 4, chapter 16. Again, this is the part 2 about birds. I've made a previous video on birds, which was class 3. So consider that as part 1 about birds and this as part 2. This is in class 4. Okay, so not class 5, class 4. Let me start by highlighting two important things. One is that this is a letter written by Gijubai Badheka, who lived in Gujarat, and he had written many stories for children. This is in a letter format, so children are being introduced to letters. The second is the date. It is written in 1936, and in this letter, a lot of things are being said in the form of a letter about birds. Now, Gijubai is talking about it being 3 in the afternoon, how it is very hot, and what the birds do. He's on his way to Gopal Bhai's house, somebody's house, and there are many stones, and he sees Indian robins have laid eggs out there. So, this is an Indian robin. He also sees crows and what all crows do. What is a crow's nest made up of? So once I introduce you to all the birds, we'll not read this chapter in detail, but we will basically go and see the highlights. Those are the things you have to remember. Some of these birds the children have already been introduced to in class 3. For example, the quail. One fact we learn is that the bird does not make its own nest and it lays its egg in a crow's nest. Here is the barbet, or the woodpecker. The tailor bird is again reintroduced, whom used to stitch his home with leaves. The barbet or the coppersmith bird can be heard making tuk tuk. So this is the same as the woodpecker. This is a sunbird, and the nest hangs from the branches of a small tree. And what all he sees. Let's see this in a PDF form. So what is it that you have to remember for the CTET exam? All of them are important. Main questions are from the Indian robin, the barbet or the coppersmith bird, the sunbird, the weaver bird, and the quail. So the Indian robin lays its nest among stones. So anything with stones is Indian robin, and the nest is made up of a whole lot of things like grass, soft twigs, roots, wool, hair, and cotton wood. Crows also make its nest with all kinds of things, and it builds its nest very high up on the tree. Along with crows, one thing connecting it is the quail, where the quail does not make its own nest. It lays all its eggs in the crow's nest. Also, another thing we know about the quail is that makes the noise kuhu kuhu and has a very sweet voice. The dove makes its nest among thorns of a cactus plant or on a mehendi hedge. The sparrows and pigeons can make their nest anywhere. They can be in the households, behind mirrors, and cupboards. The barbet or coppersmith bird is the same as a woodpecker, mainly makes tuk 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 noise. It makes its nest in the hole of a tree and eats insects which are found in the trunk of a tree. The tailor bird is the one which stitches its leaves with beaks and makes its nest. The sunbird will have its nest hanging from the branches of a tree, and it is made up of hair, grass, twigs, dry leaves, etc. But this is the point which is asked, the one which is hanging. The weaver bird is mentioned, where the male weaver bird makes the nest. The female will choose from one of the nests and will lay an egg in it. So the male makes many nests and then invites the female to choose the best nest and lay its egg in it. So if you can remember this, you should be able to crack the entire CTET questions asked from birds. So two other important things to remember is about Gijubai Badheka, the name, and the fact that nests are used mainly to lay an egg. Once the chicks are born or they fly away, the nests are not needed and birds will mostly break that up. Thank you.